Ready to go.
Can you immobilize me so I can't control your hand? So I can't pull you down?
Sure. Freaking Ian is horrible. Yeah, every day of the week you're gonna crush me there. Like, yeah, even if you let me go, I think you still just can.
I just have to commit to hold you a little bit.
Yeah. Man. Like, to me, the threat from you feels like it's pronation rather than cup, but
I have to get the cup to hold you if I don't want to end up going to the strap and being a finger pull.
Yeah. There's nothing doing there. Nothing doing there. And if I go all in on that, then this is just like entirely open.
Right. I'll be strong enough to adjust to make sure that I hold on to you so you don't run away.
Yeah. I think if I was to have a legit comp start with you, I'd try to like just hide and pretend and not show you anything and hope to be able to.
Right. And those are the guys that normally have the hardest time with controlling to beat easily. Mm-hmm. The guys that are knuckle high.
Like this.
Top roll, where I've got to really commit to getting them down at an angle before I can roll through.
Yeah. So containment first, pronation second.
And it's full on containment. I got to be the one hanging on if someone's doing the Dave, Dave Patton or Travis Badgen style knuckles high top roll.
Yeah.
Because they're not hanging on at all. They're hoping that I'm hanging on. Mm. So that would be my suggestion to you, but.
To pick up, so it's funny when I grip a whole lot of other people, I don't feel like I have an imbalance in my cup and pronation. But against you, I feel really weak on cup. I feel like there's nothing there. Is it? I think maybe because you have such a dominant combination of cup and pronation.
Well, I don't know, but you're able to stabilize it with the strap.
Yeah, with the strap, yeah, but. I don't know. But other people don't feel. They don't make me feel like my cup's weak. But you make me feel like my cup's got nothing.
See, I feel really comfortable like that once I got my thumb locked down it to be able to just roll through you.
Yeah. I remember you doing that to Zola over at A1, so I don't feel too bad. You made him look like that.
It's a little tougher.
So the King's move, John, it's been a big topic. Michael Todd's obviously always been a talking point, but with Devin Larratt
now
doing it against against Todd.
There's a lot of people doing it now.
Yeah, and WAL pads go right to the back, so it helps.
Yeah.
Where do you see that? Do you like it in the sport? Yeah.
Well, the only thing I like about it is it prolongs matches. I mean, it provides some drama for the audience to really get into it and cheer, and there's some blood, sweat, and tears going on. But
yeah,
I mean, as a purist of arm wrestling, and growing up as a kid, how I understood arm wrestling, I mean, it's just almost laughable that they would allow it and let it go.
Yeah, if you walked into a bar
and saw
someone down like this,
that's cheating, or it's not even. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, given that this table right here is the domain that we arm wrestle in, and like as long as it stays within the rules, I think it's a good thing. And there are ways to King's move where it's like this, perhaps, as opposed to like that.
Right.
I think it's like personally for me, I feel like it's just part of the sport and we should embrace it.
Right. I don't have a problem with the King's move as long as the elbow stays, the point of the elbow is on the cup. Once it starts being where the tricep is on the cup and the point of the elbow is above the cup, I think I don't know who decided that rule was correct. I know that they wanted that rule because of the pivot of the elbow raising above the point on an offensive position, but I don't think it was ever meant to be used in a defensive position. So as long as that point remains on the pad, I don't have a huge problem with it. But The other problem is trying to figure out how to beat the damn thing, because it's we played around with it yesterday, and it's definitely a chess move, a defensive thing that if you fall into it, you can.
If once someone's in a king's move, any attack against it just quickly becomes bad idea.
So it turns into, what's the solution? Two people doing king's moves. I mean, I've seen those matches, and those look.
Well, I mean, you beat
horribly
Michael Todd,
ridiculous.
UAL 8
with the tricep
containment.
Yeah,
and
I think we can all agree that is probably the most workable offense against the king's move. I mean, Jerry Carteret has great success with Michael Todd doing that, and I mean, I personally, that seemed like that was the only thing that I had an option to do, and Devin's tried it.
I'll set up in a king's move, and we'll just have a light feel.
I mean, other than really trying to control your arm down with lat and downward pressure, which is just putting a tremendous amount of pressure on my hand. If it doesn't work right away, then
that's it.
I don't know where to go with it. But I don't even feel comfortable going and just relaxing and coming back up to center and doing the same thing you're doing.
Yeah, because whoever's strapped.
I guess I can just. I mean, I don't know.
At this position, I've got the hand height, so if we both did it.
But I don't even think it matters. I mean, I think if you're starting to feel confident, like you can pin me, you're going to be in trouble going for the offensive even right now.
Yeah, even though you're under, the double kings.
So we end up looking like a couple of idiots doing tug of war.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. And it'd be strange what the finality would be of that. I mean, I guess whoever's shoulder faded out to the point where they felt like they would want to come in and make that attempt to try to push it through.
Yeah, and we've seen some extreme double kings moves. I mean, I don't mind that. Leaning back like that, to me, that's still okay. I don't mind it. And I use it. I mean, I've never actually used it in a comp, but I've used it. I've used the same style of pressure, i.e. it's a top roll, it's an open arm top roll, really. It's a top roll with no shoulder commitment. And I use that at times, but...
Well, it's just putting a tremendous amount of pressure on your opponent's hand.
Yeah.
And it doesn't really matter what the position. I mean, I'm doing it. I'm horrible at it. I mean, I'm just...
Yeah. I mean, from here, I feel like I know that if I go sideways, I'm in trouble with my own hand.
And there's me. I mean, be careful, because I'm not used to doing it. But that's me completely straightened out, like doing no work at all. Is that any kind of pressure on you at all?
It's about 20% in my hand, but I can sense that if I went sideways, my hand would go back.
Right. It's more pressure the more you try to attempt to go sideways.
How long would you be able to sit in that position for in a match?
I don't know if I could get there in time. I mean, it would take a lot of practice for me to feel comfortable to even get to that full straightened position.
I feel like I would want to just sit here and see if lactic acid built up in you, or me.
There's no lactic acid going to build up when I'm like this, but I'm not sure I could allow myself to get in a straight arm position.
Yeah, against someone who's
hitting,
really swinging around hard. Like we saw Pushkar beat Michael Todd a few times with kind of this angle hitting,
right,
and that. But I think as soon as you commit to outside pressure, then it's pretty hard to get around. But it's not. I don't think it's unbeatable. The kick back and climb seems to be something that works. But yeah. So the other thing about the King's move is I think the strength of it is the longevity. You see a lot of people, Crazy George, a lot of the older guys that are still Norm Devios, they're sitting out here, and that seems to be something healthy for the elbows and shoulders long term.
Right. I don't know. I think anybody can do it if they got the mindset to start practicing it and doing it. And I mean, I think we're at the beginning stages where people really haven't figured out the key, the defense against that defensive move to end up seeing some, really big time chess play with the sport. I mean, it's typically one guy that's doing the King's move and the other guy is still trying to do conventional, just hard nose straight to the pad movement. And that's why it's so successful. But I think it was going to come to a point where we're going to see, the weird matches where ready go boom and they're both, and then
we're seeing more.
Who's going to wait?
We're seeing more and more of it, aren't we?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I've only seen a few matches where it's gone boom boom right to that, and it's like, okay, that's weird. I mean, this looks ridiculous, but
yeah. Well, I've never actually pulled it out in a comp. Like I said, I actually train it, not deliberately, but like when I train with someone who's weaker than I am at my club, I'll kind of sit down in the chair and leave my arm and shoulder out of it, and I'll just defend with my hand. And inevitably, when I'm just defending with my hand, I let my arm come right down to here, and so it feels good. And I always think that if I ever had to in comp, I'd be ready
to do it.
But all the other fundamental strengths, I seem to be so much more focused on protecting everything that it never ends up
It's
there.
very uncomfortable until you've practiced it and then experienced it and built up a tolerance for it. And not many people are going to be willing to do it. There's no protection for it. I mean, if someone rips you when you're straight out like that, I mean,
it's a big stretch.
It's gonna do some damage or hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why there's always, you always want that angle just to be able to give if it starts to be painful. I think. But, yeah, I mean, I'm all for the fun, longer type matches, but then we discussed yesterday what could be done to maybe solve that, and I thought, well, maybe force the body to be a little bit more square. And I've made this comment before in the past of having the peg on across the table, so the body can't really go that low, so you're forced to stay in somewhat of a conventional arm wrestling position.
He talks about old school, the wrist wrestling, where it was
under the wrist, which was a lot of monkeying around, and it's all good visual stuff too for the spectator, but.
Even if
it was definitely hard to referee a wrist wrestling match because there was, arms were floating in the air. It wasn't really.
Yeah, I can imagine. As soon as you put your hand in here, as though there was a peg here or whatever, the King's move disappears.
Right.
Because you can't.
And you're gonna have longer fought matches because that side pressure isn't going to be nearly as strong. It's going to require a lot more hand and wrist and forearm and bicep. Type movements.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if it would. Yeah. I mean, the promoters are going to hate it because their tournament's going to take days to run 100 people versus. But as far as a super match goes, and spectators, I think it makes for a lot better, longer, drawn out, exciting matches.
Yeah. And the other side of all of this talk is the feedback from fans. I know. Any time I have a video with Michael Todd in it on my channel,
people are
vocal
about it.
They don't like it. But having said that, I think a lot of people that are watching don't really have the intricate understanding of what it is. That you see a lot of comments just saying, "Yeah, if I put my arm in an arm bar, you couldn't pin me either." But it's not. It's definitely not like that. Like Michael Todd is an incredibly strong guy in every respect as an arm wrestler.
Right.
And executing the King's move isn't simple. It takes a lot of strength.
And people like to watch it. I mean, the Jerry Caderet, Michael Todd match is one of the most exciting. Well, even with his with Devin. People love those long, drawn out matches where they can actually, feel something and cheer and cry
So the people misreading it, I think it's exactly that. I think eventually fans will understand the King's move better, and when they do, they'll appreciate it. Like. That's the same comment as the very early days fans. They see us dropping our bodies and they say, "Oh, but you're just using body weight."
Right.
So,
right.
I think it's an easily misunderstood move, and I actually think it's perfectly fine within the sport. I as long as it's refereed correctly and like that match, Devin and Todd, I think that it was missed, so it was disappointing. Same go back last year with Michael Todd and Devin. When Michael Todd had his tricep on the table and his elbow was touching the side, I think that's too far.
Well, let's discuss. You participate in the freedom table. That all goes away if it's this.
Yeah.
If it's here and then there's pin pads here, and there's no way that the forearm is going to be flat like that and a pin not be called, right? I mean, the only reason it was is because the elbow was higher or as high as the pin pad.
Yeah.
So I mean, maybe this is the future. The key is to have that full mobility on off the tabletop.
Have you ever played around with freedom?
No, Are we going to try right now?
Yeah. let's have a little play.
Oh, man. I used to be a pretty good barroom arm wrestler, so I imagine that's kind of the same feel, right? Classroom arm wrestling.
Yeah, I think in most circumstances you're going to be a pretty good arm wrestler.
Oh hell! You better have a lot stronger fingers than I do.
The weather's got to these.
Oh man, I can't pop it even. I got the one, but the other one's tight. Might need a tool.
There we got it. We got it. So yeah, free to move anywhere, and the starts as well. The starts are not like square.
Right.
The starts are as soon as you're happy.
Okay.
So starting like this
It's okay.
is okay, and a lot of top rollers do start like this because they can get a bit of deception in and play. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, I would feel like I just want to just drag you all the way to my side of the table, and here it becomes more of a. This would be hard for someone like Todd Hutchins, who has a lot of side pressure, to do well at this, because it gives the you have the ability to really stretch somebody out.
Yeah.
Or you're not relying on going through their arm.
And so, just to clarify how you pin, either all the way down to the table or hold me outside the table line for 3 seconds.
Oh, okay. How about outside the table line on my side?
Yeah, either on that side.
Well, I guess that's not going to be possible because I got to keep my elbow on the table, right?
You do.
Okay.
So let's have a play.
So that would be yeah. I mean, so now I'm running out of room to know what to do.
Yeah, and you can move. There we go.
So that's gonna be the move.
Damn that top roll of yours, John. All right, John's pretty good at freedom. Same move every time.
Well, if it works, you got to stick with it, right? Okay, I'll try the dragging move. Oh, there goes the shoulder. Click, 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 click. Yeah, so now that's interesting.
Oh man, yeah, your pronation.
That would be really hard to referee, but that'd be fun. It'd be fun to watch.
And you were just standing and delivering then, but when you see guys that are really balanced, moving around the table like crazy, and it's like the arm sumo, and there's a lot of opportunities to counter. And
typically, is the winner defeating the other person's hand though at some point? Because I would think that it'd almost have to be almost a give up of the hand.
Yeah. Well,
before the arm would be given.
Yeah. Taking people outside the line, a lot of hand-based stuff, but you see a lot of people then just coming in with the press to the table. But man,
I like the freedom idea more than I like King's move.
Well, I think that the freedom actually is good for pros and just really bad for novices.
Right.
The novices.
I didn't get a chance to see any of the matches in Canada. Typically, were the matches quite a bit longer? Or?
Yeah, they go longer. I mean, if there's a dominant guy, there's a dominant guy. But as soon as a match is balanced, and particularly if there's two good arm wrestlers, the movement and it goes for longer, and the better arm wrestler ends up normally winning the long game. Not necessarily the stronger guy, but I like it. But
any
in very limited
thoughts
respects.
that you think that it would cause more injuries possibly, or
novices? Just because when you're on a pad and you get taken sideways, your opponent's drag is limited by that pad. If you're a novice and you're doing this, and all of a sudden you're the weaker novice and your opponent's going all the way over there,
right,
you're really taken out.
Right.
And if you don't have that sense to slide with it,
right,
yeah, you're high risk. But man, I am so sore right now. The flare in my arm is killing me.
Golf was hurting you too much.
The combination of Evan you yesterday, golf, and now this again.
Oh yes, I was up all night last night with that shoulder. That thing popped a dozen times yesterday, pulling you in the straps. Like,
Yeah.
That's bad.
Yeah. I can feel my heart rate in my elbow right now. It's just
that's
throbbing. It's throbbing. Anyway, guys, thought we'd do a bit of a chat on the King's move because I know it's a hot topic. A lot of people talking about it. It's gonna stay. It's not going anywhere. Ultimately, is it?
I guess not, unless they come out and change the rules or change the table. You know, the structure of the table, or I don't know, the pads. I mean, and it's possible, right? I mean, they've changed the rules plenty of times in the last 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Been all over the place. So maybe we'll see.
The same guys end up winning anyway, even when the rules do change.
I don't know about so much with that. Well, there'll be some adjustments. The King's move goes away for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, take it easy.
Yes, that's a man!